o'clock. We will begin our insurance workshop, and our regular board meeting will begin immediately after the workshop. Mr. Superintendent?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Watts, board members, community members, and staff. We have Ms. Gonzalez de los Rios here to present, give us an update on our insurance for this current school year, 2018-2019.
Oh, we changed.
Oh, this is an updated version?
Did it?
Okay.
Did you see what was that?
Okay, well, good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Saiz, and members of the public. Thank you for being here tonight. We actually should have really titled this health insurance update, because insurance update is just, I mean, it's so broad. And I know that constantly what we want to be hearing is where are we with our health insurance, and where, you know, how are we looking, and what are the plans for next year. So what I have for you, it's only about 55 slides. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. 13 slides, 13 slides. And it's really just, I'm going to just kind of show you numbers and explain to you where those numbers came from. So I don't have a whole lot of just detailed information to go through. If you have specific questions, we can kind of go through those. But I think what I'm giving you're going to see is kind of just it's a lot to take in. And so we just kind of want to give you bits and pieces of it as we go through the process to the next year. So the first thing I just kind of just to bring back, the total amount that was projected that we should be getting into the health fund is $19.9 million. That includes a $2 million subsidy that the business office kind of put aside so that if in case we start seeing that we are spending more than we're actually bringing in, then they'll take that subsidy and put it into the health fund so that hopefully at the end of the year, we're not having to do major transfers from our general fund into the health fund. So I think from what I understood from the business office was that $2 million is just kind of like on hold on the side. So they didn't put it into the health fund just yet. Okay, so it'll go in if we need it. Up until now, because remember the money that we get into the health fund generates monthly from paychecks. So it's not like our maintenance budget, for example, that when you adopted the budget back in August or September, if the maintenance budget, let's say, was $500,000, when the maintenance department got their budget, there was $500,000 access for them to, I don't know, it's $500,000, I'm just using that number. So they had $500,000 already in the bank, so to speak, ready for them to start using for our facilities. The health fund works differently. As we get paid, then we take the money from what the employees pay for their premiums and the amount that the district pays, and then it goes into the health fund. So it's funded as people are getting paid. And if there's no paycheck, there's no money for the health fund. Okay. So up until from September for this year, the district has contributed $5.9 million into the health fund, and the employees have contributed $1.2 million into the health fund for these last couple of months. So total, what we can say we've collected into the health fund is $7.2 million, okay, from September to January. I wanted to, just to kind of bring it all together and really help you understand, and even if there's other employees here from the district to understand, is, again, we get funded as those paychecks hit the accounts. Last year, to give you an example, we projected that we would bring in $19 million into the health fund. We only actually got 17.5. So we were short about $1.5 million. And that wasn't because the district didn't fund it. That wasn't because employees didn't pay their part. It just, numbers are estimated based on the number of employees we think we're going to have and the number of employees that are going to be signing up for the health insurance. For whatever reason, at the end of the year, we only got $17.5 million. So already we were short $1.5 million into the health fund. Our expenses last year were $20 million. So if you take into account the 1.5 that we didn't collect in premiums and from the employer contribution, we ended up short $2.5 million. Okay, so again, just because we are projecting that we're going to collect 19.9, that may not be the case.
Was that inclusive of the 2 mil that was the district contribution?
So last year there was no subsidy. This will be the first year that there's going to be a subsidy.
No, but I want to answer your question. We paid the 2.5 million.
Oh, yes, we did. The
Yes,
district
had to
right,
compensate for that.
right, the
difference. Yes, sir.
2.5.
Yes.
Yes, they did. I think towards the end of the year, they came in and asked for a transfer from the general fund for that. But at least that kind of gives you idea of the reason behind the big transfer.
I think what to answer your question, Mr. Guerrero, is we are proactive this year. We put that money up front rather than last year. Wasn't projected, wasn't planned, and then wait a minute, we end up with a 2.5 million in the negative. Okay, find a way to pay for it. This year, I guess we're smarter, if you will, being proactive and putting that money on the side, just in case.
That was the reason why
Yes, sir.
those $2 million were budgeted to be put into the
Right.
Correct,
the
sir.
system.
Up front,
Right.
yes, sir.
So even then, we were still $500,000 short.
Yes. Okay, so looking at, for this year, going back to the 18-19 year, from September to January, we have paid out $1.5 million in just administrative fees to United Healthcare. We were, for this year in September, we were still with Blue Cross, but the majority of the fees, because we've been with United since October, we've paid out 1.5. Towards the end, I am going to show you a comparison of what we paid last year to what we're paying this year. So for right now, I'm just kind of taking you through from September through January to give you a picture of what we're paying and where the money's going. In our claims, we are at $6.9 million from September to January. So you math people, they're probably already like adding up the numbers. We have spent out more than what we've collected so far, and I'll kind of show you that on the next slide. But the month of September, we were with Blue Cross, and then you'll see from October, November, and December, we were still getting claims from Blue Cross Blue Shield. Because if somebody went to the doctor, let's say in September, but we didn't get the bill for it until October or November. So down at the bottom, I did indicate which of those costs were for Blue Cross and which were for United. And you'll see that for December, the costs were already going down for Blue Cross because most of those claims already got paid out. So now any claims coming in, they are with our new carrier. So here's where we're at. Total between all of our fees, all of our claims, we've paid out $8.5 million. We've only collected 7.2. So we are looking at 1.3 already in the negative through January. So when I was talking to Ms. Cancino, she says, I was hoping we wouldn't have to use those $2 million that she had set aside, but it looks like we might have to tap into those $2 million that they saved for us. So, any questions so far? Okay, so month-to-month comparison from where we were last year to where we are now. The claims look about the same. The only month that there is, what we saw was just a huge difference, was for the month of December. For this year, we are at $1.8 million for December. Last year, we were at 1.1, and December is looking to be the highest month for expenses. I did run some reports. I reached out to United Healthcare. It seems that for the month of December, from the reports that we ran, we had a high number of people on the plan that got services at a hospital. Either they were admitted or they went into a hospital for some kind of service, outpatient service or things like that. But we did have a very high number of hospital utilization in the month of December. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to put things in a graph in case we have, people who are very visual, but you'll see December just hiked up, and and we're still getting claims for December, for that month, so. Okay, our admin fees. This is where we are seeing a big difference in what we are paying out. You'll see for the first month, we were with Blue Cross Blue Shield in September, and then October, November, December, and January, you will see the difference that we're paying this year for our admin fees. And the same thing, I put a bar graph for you to see. Any questions? It's pretty. Okay, so this is what we're looking at between now and September. We are hoping that sometime between March and April, we do go out for the RFP process. We did have a contract with United for 1 year, so we do need to go out to bid again. And so those are the dates that we're shooting for. We're hoping that May to July, we will start open enrollment with the employees. And we're hoping to get everything all straightened out with whoever the carrier will be, so we can get an electronic file feed and we can just kind of dump into our payroll system. And then we are going back to a September 1 plan year. They did move us to October. That kind of threw things off. Not only I know for the business office, but it threw things off even with us with ACA reporting. It took a lot of just working with different spreadsheets and to align it, but we are going to be moving back to a September 1 for this year. It just makes sense to line up our plan year with our fiscal year. So that's what we're hoping for. And that's all I've got, unless you have questions or.
Thank you, Mrs.
Thank
Rios.
you.
The time is 6:11. I call this meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now we will have a moment of silence. Thank you. Next, we have our superintendent's report. Mr. Superintendent.
Thank you, Ms. Watson, board members, and community and staff members. I'm just gonna move to by the computer. Thank you, sir. I'm going to start with the district highlights before I start going to the Lone Star Governance monitoring report that I have here. I just want to share with you, it's kind of new tradition, we want to share with you and highlight different things we're doing, our students are doing, our staff are doing every day in our campuses. So we want to focus on robotics, and in particular, a robotics program in one of our middle schools. So I want to share that with you. I just want to let you know, we had some robotics, some clubs and different campuses in the past few years. But this year, we really took robotics programs to the next level. Our students and our staff really kind of took it to another level. So we have both of high schools participated in the First Tech Challenge, UR Robotics, and they did extremely well. They really did really well and represented Donna very well for the for being first year doing this kind of program. And then we have a lot of first Lego in our middle and elementary campuses also. As a matter of fact, one of our elementary schools, Adami, they're still in competition, and they've been competing against like some of our, they've been like moving to the next level. So they're still competing, and again, competing against a lot of other middle schools in the valley. So again, this is the first year our students and our teachers and sponsors been doing this kind of work to this level, this deep, and going to competition, competing with McAllen, with Harlingen, with Cherryland, and they've been doing great work. So I want you to know it's going to continue, and it's only going to grow. We have a lot of talented students, and we have a lot of talented staff members who are willing to take our students and take them to another level. I think we have some of them here some of our students here who actually won and competed in First Tech Challenge, high school students. But let me just start by highlighting, again, this is not only happening at this particular middle school, it's happening in a lot of our campuses, but we wanted to highlight at least one this time. Let's see if I can get the volume going here for a minute.
I started the robotics club 4 years ago when we were asked to participate in HESTEC, which is a competition that's hosted by UTRGV. At that time, we didn't have a club, so I gathered a few students, some that were, fairly interested in hands-on projects. Being in a science classroom, you get to identify the students that like to do things, hands-on. I asked them if they wanted to participate, and quickly we found 5 students. We scrambled to program a robot. It was our first time ever. They did extremely well. We ended up competing, and out of about 70 schools, those students took 4th place. After participating and doing that great, all that, I guess you could say momentum, it just kept building more and more. And when they came back to the campus, they had ideas of building different things, and so we had put the club together and then started recruiting more members. And then as time went on, the project got a little bit bigger and more advanced. We have built and designed, programmed effective robots that have won competitions. After that, we continue to work building electric go-karts made from scratch that are wireless, making a t-shirt launcher from a recycled wheelchair, and now making a Lynchenberg burning device that uses an old microwave transformer to send current throughout a piece of wood, making amazing art.
The programming it's really nice. Being able to know how it works or how you can make it work, and then never giving up. You can't just, oh, it failed once, I can't fix it. Programming helps you fix it and make it right.
They learn everything from being organized, becoming team players, programming, building, rebuilding. Lots of times when a project comes together, there's an idea and then it has to be built on paper. So there's a little bit of research behind all of that.
Just being able to say, I did that. Like many people say, oh no, I didn't do it, I regret it. Now I could be that person that said, no, I did it. We did it. I helped make that dream become possible. My name is Melanie Salazar. I aspire to be, I aspire to lead, and I aspire to succeed.
Thank you. So, yeah. Absolutely. So, teachers like Mr. Gonzalez at Veterans, I know we have a lot of very talented and very dedicated staff members, and a lot of talented and also very smart students we have here at Donna. So, just giving them more opportunity and choices. As I said, this is we took it really to another level this year. Like I heard Mr. Gonzalez saying, they started as a club after school here and there. But now we actually providing them more resources. They are entering more competition, and it's not only just at Veterans now. As I said, both of our high schools are competing in the First Tech Challenge for the first time ever. I don't know if you've seen some of the Twitters and Facebook stuff, right? I mean, that's real, right? And then also we have for all our middle school, we have robotics in all our 4 middle schools, as well as another 5 elementary. Our goal is to have it in every campus. Hopefully next year. I want to thank obviously our teachers and sponsors, our students, our parents for their support, but also I want to thank our directors and Mr. Rana, like Mr. Watson, Ms. Anderson, really for helping and supporting, and some of you strategic too, Mr. Rana, right? Helped really support, and they are there every time our students are competing. They are there cheering for our students, making sure they have whatever they need. So. Again, this is just the beginning of great things for our students, and robotics and engineering is one thing we want Donna to be known for, right? So that was our highlight, I guess, for this evening. Let me go ahead and get started to the next item, which is going through the Lone Star governance, and I have some information or some, I guess, data I want to update you and share with you. As you know, part of Lone Star governance is for me to present to you on a monthly basis where we stand on different goals and constraints. So today, I'll be focusing on goal number 3 and superintendent constraint number 3. And just a reminder, goal number 3, we want to make sure the percent of graduate demonstrating college, career, military readiness will increase from 43% to 90% by 2023. So 43, again, is last year data, and we want to keep going, right? And we have 3 GPM, so goal progress monitoring. The first one looking at the TSI, which is the Texas Success Initiative. In both, students take this test in ELA and math, and they have to pass to qualify or to be college ready. And we want that number to increase, that percentage to increase from 19 to 43%. The second GPM talks about we want to make sure increase the percent of students who are industry-based certificate ready, I guess, and we'll go from 99 to 20%. We've been doing a lot of great work here under our CTA program and Mr. Moreno and the department. And goal number 3 is the percentage of graduate earning AB, IB, dual enrollment credit. Also, we want that to increase from 38 to 60% by 2023. So let's start with the first one, the overall goal. So we were at 43, if I can, this is at 43 as far as last year. Back in December when we reported, we did the math and we did some calculation, we're at 42%. And today I'm happy to say that we jumped to 50%, so we have more of our students are what we call college, career, or military ready. And then the goal at the end of this year is to be at 51%. We still have about 4 months. Remember that a lot of our students are still like taking certificate, taking part of the classes, and they probably will be taking the exams to get certified by the end of the year. Some of them are still enrolled in dual credit courses, AP courses that they won't be done until the end of this year. So what I'm trying to say, this is very promising, and we are really optimistic about that. We're gonna hit the 51%, not only hit it, but exceed that 51% by the end of this year. That is our goal. So that's the overall goal. When you break it down by, I guess, GPM, here's the TSI. And TSI, last year, and the end of the year, we had 19% of the kids. Just to take, again, just to remind our parents and our students and our board members that in order to qualify to be CCM ready, TCI or TSI is only one way. So we can have a low TSI percentage, but if we have more kids who are earning certification, or more kids who are taking dual credit, or more kids who are taking AP courses, the overall number will be higher. Because to qualify, a student only has to be one of those 3. He doesn't have to meet, or she doesn't have to meet all 3, only meet one of those criteria. So again, looking at this, we went back in December, we're at 7%. As of March, we're at 8%. The goal was to be at, or it is to be at 24%. We are still taking, our students are still taking TSI. Some of them are doing some prep for TSI. So again, this is the semester where we actually see the increase in this, because they are actually will be taking this test right now in this semester. So again, our goal is to see this number increase as well. For the second one, this is the one when we talk about industry-based certificate, and you can see back in December we only were at 3%. Now we're at 7%, and our goal to be at 12%. Again, we have a lot of our students who are still in the middle of their courses, and they did not take those certification yet. Some of them are taking it as we go, and some of them will be taking it by the end of the year. So our goal is to be at least 12%, and we are also optimistic that we're gonna reach that goal or probably exceed it. Here is the one, we want the percentage of graduate earning AP, IB, or dual enrollment credit. We want that to increase from 38 to 60%, and we were in December at 25%. We are right now at 28%, and the goal is to be at 43. Remember, again, that our students are still enrolled in these courses. I won't be done with them until the end of the year. Again, our goal is to hit minimum 43%, but also to exceed that number. So that's why, as far as like where we stand, we feel like we are approaching. Remember again that students can get credit based on one of these three. They don't have to have all three, but when you look at the overall, we are already at 50%. But then when you break it down, this is when you see different numbers. But what matters to TEA, what matters to us, is we want to make sure that our students are ready. I'm sorry, college, career, or military ready. This is what the overall number. This is what matters the most. Okay, and so as far as next steps, we feel like we are approaching. As far as next steps, we want to be proactive. We want to continue monitoring CCMR, our principals, secondary principals, in particular high school principals and their staff, counselors, teachers. I know Mr. Moreno because they have to also work with CTE teachers for when it comes to certifications. They are working very closely with our students to make sure again that they are meeting one of those criteria. We have ACT, SIT prep that is coming. It's embedded into the curriculum. TSI prep sessions at campuses are happening right now, and again, our students will be taking that test after the prep session. They are using Imagine Math because the Imagine Math has some prep for TSI, ACT, and SAT. We're also doing some PD for our CTE teachers. And then certification for CTE students. We're monitoring and making sure that more and more of our students are actually taking those tests and getting certified. Also, we want to make sure that our students are actually registered. And remember, for AP courses, they have to sit in the end of the year and take the AP test, and they have to score 3, 4, or 5 in order for them to get credit. And then we just hosted the College and Career Festival because we want to promote college and we want to promote career and all that stuff. And these are the kind of like reports where we put this, this data from. Just a couple of highlights. We have already for 253 out of 995 who are college ready, career ready. We have about 270 out of 995 who are ready, and 79 out of 995 are military ready. Again, just for me to say it one more time, the students don't have to be ready for everything. There's some students who are going to focus on college, and they may not take a certification, right? Industry certification. They just focus on taking those dual credit, AP courses, or whatever, and continue working that way. So the fact that they are not career ready, that doesn't mean that they're ready, but they are ready for college, right? Because we want our students to, as they leave our high school, we want them either to be college ready or career ready or military ready. If they can be all three or all two, that's great, but at least one of those three. Then the constraint that I have is we shall not allow excessive staffing ratio in the district. And we want the percentage of the district budget spent on staffing will decrease from 81% to 75% by 2021. And we started at 81%. We've been doing through attrition, and this 80% we believe may be lower by the end of the year because we've been doing a lot of attrition. 81%, as this number indicates, of our total budget was on staffing, or payroll, I'm sorry. And so we are doing a lot of attrition, as I said, and we estimate this number will decrease a lot lower. Our goal is to be at 78% by 2020. But we're going to probably head to come very close to 78% by the end of this year. That is our goal. Through attrition. We're doing attrition. And we feel like we're meeting or approaching, and we're going to continue with attrition as we discussed it.
Okay.
Any questions before we put this like for accept or not accept?
Is there a motion to accept or reject?
I move
Motion by Dr. Mary,
Second.
second by Mr.
to
Guerrero.
accept, yes. I move to accept.
Accept. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Number 3, Lone Star Governor's Quarterly Report. Mrs.
Yes.
Tomei.
Yep. Board President, Ms. Watts, and board members, staff, and community members. So the next item is discussing the board quarterly progress report. As you know, as a district, we started really the work with the Lone Star governance. I guess the first training was back in March 2018, and then we continued the work. You know, everybody is trained. Everybody is following, I guess, the guidelines when it comes to Lone Star governance, and we have to, I guess, track our progress and see where we stand. There are different things that we have to meet, certain things that we have to meet, and we actually get graded based on the things that we're doing when it comes to Lone Star governance. And there are a lot of things that we have to do, and we've been doing a lot. And there are more things that we'll have to do. I just wanted to share with you where we stand as far as where we stand. And we happen to have Dr. McMahon. She's our Lone Star governance coach. She's been working with us. And so we want to thank her for all the work that she's been doing. I just want to share with you a couple of things. If you can follow me here. So this is 2 quarters ago. 2 quarters ago, was around August. So around August, we only received 1 point out of 100. So that's a complete failure, students, right? So 1 out of 100, that's really fail. Big F, right? Anyway, but we just started. So we're just learning how to do things, and we're starting the process. And then we start moving. We start doing things as we learn about Lone Star governance, as we start doing things. The quarter after that, we were at 28. So we jumped from 1 to 28. And then the last quarter, we are graded, and we actually jumped to 51. So we are making a steady progress because, again, it's not something that you learn or do overnight. There are a lot of things that you have to meet as a board, as a district. And so I think we're out of 51, and I'm very confident that the next time we do this, we assess ourselves, we're going to be probably in the 60s or 70s. Our goal, obviously, we want to get to close to 100. And again, I don't know, Dr. McMahon, if you want to say something. We're actually doing great things here, right? I mean, as compared to other school districts who are doing Lone Star governance.
Oh, yes, I just want to commend you for the excellent work that you all have been doing. It starts off at number 1, but it's a very slow process of things to get this done right. There are things you have to do in sequential order, and this district has taken the challenge to do those things in sequential order. They're at the point now where the hard work really begins, where we start to see changes in adult behaviors. You're going to see some of those on some of your agenda items tonight, which I was very excited to see. We're going to continue with training later on this month, where we're going to be charting out the last year as we make this transition from a less coaching model to more of a board self-sustained model as they move forward in this process. And I just commend you guys tremendously. Man, what a difference a year makes. What a difference a year makes. And you guys are doing a great job, and I'm so excited to be working with you. And if anyone in the community has any questions, I'm happy to provide any answers for you.
Thank you, Dr. McMahon. And I think we are among the highest when it comes to the district, this scores, right? Are we really showing a progress?
You are pretty not at the top, because there are some districts that have been doing this a little bit longer.
Okay.
Than you have, but you are definitely being taken notice of by TEA for the progress that you're
Very
making.
well. Very well. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. That was at the end of the second item. And now we have, I talked about district highlights, and we talked about a robotics program earlier, but we have so many different things happening in our district. And as I said earlier, and I keep repeating, we have so many talented students, right? And talented staff members who've been working really hard. And you can see for item 4, 5, and 6, we have several of our students and sponsors and coaches we're going to recognize. So we're going to start by recognizing 2018-2019 Don ISD Battle of the Books champions for elementary, middle, and high school. And we have with us Ms. Garza, who's going to.
Thank you. Good evening, board members, Dr. Azais, cabinet, and community members. My name is Stephanie Garza, and I'm the Director of Social Studies, and additionally, I oversee library services. I'm here this evening to introduce you to and to celebrate the Donna ISD Battle of the Books champions for elementary, middle school, and high school campuses. But before I begin, and I'll make it quick, I promise, the historian in me wants to give you a little background about Battle of the Books here in Donna ISD. So before there was ever a competition at the regional level, the librarians of Donna ISD began holding this competition at the district level back in 2014. Since this time, the Battle of the Books competition has expanded throughout the region, and last year, a Battle of the Books regional competition was created by Region 1 ESC to allow students the opportunity to continue competing beyond their district. A committee meets each summer to determine the list of books that students will read for competition. At each level of competition, elementary, middle, and high school, 5 books are selected for the students to read and study throughout the first semester of school. And let me tell you, these are not small little tiny books. They're big, thick books. So each level, they have to read 5 books. Each school librarian assembles a team of 4 students who then go on to compete at the district competition, where the teams answer detailed questions about each book in a round-robin style. At the end of the rounds, the team with the most points advances to compete at the regional competition in Edinburgh, in which authors of the 5 books that are selected, they attend the competition to moderate and to also talk to our students about their books. So it's a really cool event. And so this is the second year that Donna ISD sends teams to the regional competition. At this time, I would like to introduce you to the 2018-2019 Donna ISD Battle of the Books champions, and this competition was held on Friday, February 15th at Veterans Middle School. So we had a team from every campus compete, and so at this time, I'm going to announce the winners at our district competition, and I'll tell you how they did at the regional competition, because we did really good, and I'm happy. So I'm going to start by introducing our elementary champions, which is Ochoa Elementary. And they are led by their librarian and coach, as she'll come up here, Miss Maricela Padron. And on her team, 2 of the 4 students that she has on her team are here tonight, and tonight is open house for elementary, so it kind of played into that. But we have here with us, we have Juan Alvarez, Camila Garza, who couldn't be here tonight, but I still want to recognize her. We have Juan Herrera, the 4th, with us tonight. And he couldn't be here tonight, but I also wanted to recognize Noah Lopez. So all of the students already have their medals, but I want to present Ochoa Elementary with their team trophy. So at the regional competition that it already took place at this time. It was on February 19th at Region 1 ESC in Edinburgh. Ochoa Elementary had a great showing, and out of all the districts, districts in the region, they ended up coming in 6th place, and they were competing against 18 districts. So. Next up will be our middle school champions, who are Sauceda Middle School. And they are led by their librarian, Mr. Ricardo Soria. Sauceda Middle School team, we have here with us tonight Brandon Morales. Jorge Negrete, but he couldn't be here tonight, but I still want to recognize him. And we also have Abraham Vasquez. And so at this time, I'd like to share, I'll share real quickly before how they did at the regional competition. On February 20th, Sauceda was essentially in the lead the entire competition. They were a force to be reckoned with. And out of the 28 possible points, they received 25 points. And the team that actually won, they had a perfect score, which they had a near perfect score the entire competition. So they took third place out of the entire region. Yes. Okay, and now I'd like to present our high school champions, which was Donna North High School. And I'd like to ask their librarian and coach, Miss Adriana Hernandez, if you would like to come up, please. Thank you. Yay. On the Donna North High School team, this included their 4 team members and their alternate. So we have Carolina Cruz, Jonathan Shershen, Jimena Gloria, Josue Hernandez, and Lucia Florencio. Donna North, I also want to share before I hand over their trophy again. I also wanted to share how Donna North competed at the regional competition, which was February 18th. Donna North was one of the top teams throughout the entire competition, and they ended up tying with McAllen ISD for 3rd place. At this time, any of the parents of these students, if you're in the audience, please stand so we can recognize you for supporting your child. So overall, I just wanted to share that Donna ISD had a great showing at the district competition as well as the regional competition. And the takeaway that I'm hearing from other schools, I'm always very competitive. It's not a good thing. The thing I'm hearing from other schools and districts was that Donna ISD was a force to be reckoned with. And for that, I'm extremely proud of them all.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Garza, again.
Thank you very much.
So next we have Mr. Ibarra.
All right. Good
Here we
evening.
go, Mr. Ibarra. You got a lot of competition going on.
I got a lot of competition. Competition is good. Competition is good. Good evening, board members, Mrs. President Watts, Superintendent, Cabinet, and community. Thank you for allowing us the time and the space to celebrate our students' efforts in refining their skills, their talents, and I don't know if most importantly, but definitely for being out there and representing our district to the best of their abilities. They do this every single time they go out. So thank you again for allowing us to be here to recognize them. This evening, we're going to start off by recognizing two groups that are probably the most solicited groups in the district. Every time somebody's going away or we're having a party and we want to party on up the spirit, we call on the mariachi. And so we want to, as a community, recognize their efforts as well. This year, the Donna High School Mariachi is proud to say that they have attended the UIL Mariachi contest for 3 years consecutively. And this year, they received a distinguished performance at their UIL Mariachi State competition. So congratulations to them for that. Just go around. From this group, I'm also proud to announce that Gabriel Hernandez, our male vocal, was selected to the Region 28 Mariachi Ensemble, in which he will be playing at the Westlaco Performing Arts Center this Saturday, March 9th, 2019. Gabriel. On behalf of Mrs. Trevino, Mr. Vasquez, and Mr. Cantu, and the Donna High School Mariachi Corazon del Valle, they look forward to continued success, and they would also like to thank Donna ISD board members, Superintendent Dr. Azaiz, Dr. Nancy Castillo, and Mr. Matias Rivera, the Fine Arts Coordinator for the South Side and Band Director, for their continued support in our program. Once again, congratulations. Take a picture.
Can you get us all? Can you get us also in the background?
Maybe we could go to down.
Come down.
Yeah, stand on that.
If you want to, you can go down. Congratulations, guys.
Good job, good job. So proud of you guys. Good job. Very good, so proud of all of you. Proud of all everyone that did. Good job.
That's awesome. Keep up the hard work. Thank you for around that. Great job. Great job. Great job.
Great job, right?
Sing it.
Keep it going, let's see who stops her.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Great job, guys.
There you go.
Great job, guys.
See you, Mr. Hill.
The uniform of the. Yes.
Okay, the second group we're recognizing is also proud to announce that this year this was their second consecutive state appearance at the Dame State contest. This is also their third consecutive appearance at the UIL State contest. Our director is Mark Sanchez. I think he would like to share some words with you.
Good evening, board and community. My name is Mark Sanchez. I am the Donna North High School Mariachi Azteca director. I'm very happy to say that these kids have worked really hard to make our district proud. Just to give you all a little bit, just a quick glimpse of what this means. In case you didn't know, the Rio Grande Valley is the mariachi capital of the world. That sounds like an exaggeration, but if you understood just the level of performance and competition the other high schools in our region produce, it would blow you away. Some of these high schools, in fact, I'll put it to you this way, for the past 6 years, the state championship in mariachi was earned by a Valley high school every 6 years. One of them 5 straight years in a row. So just to let you know that the competition is steep. It's this year was their first year at the 6A level, and it was incredible. Only 15 schools statewide made it from 6A to the state competition at Dame, and this was one of them right here. And so just to get an idea, 15 schools out of the entire state of Texas, this is one, and Donna High was another one. So just think about that, the level that these kids are having to compete at, and we're just really, really, really proud of what they do. Just to give a little insight, Melanie, the girl that was in the video earlier from robotics, she's our guitarón player at the middle school level. So just showing the contribution music makes to the neural pathways in these students, that they're able to use that in other academic ventures, just, again, just highlights just the hard work that their music education has done for them. Thank you very much.
If I may interject now, that's a good opportunity, because I also need to share a little bit of history, since he brought up the science, technology, engineering, and math. Leonardo da Vinci, renowned painter, gave us The Last Supper and Mona Lisa. But he was also known for breakthrough innovations of the 15th century, like the adding machines and flying machines. 20th century physicist, was also a pianist, Albert Einstein, and violinist, who was frustrated, and I quote his wife, although I don't know her, but Google does, and if it's on the internet, it must be true, right? Whenever he felt frustrated, he'd go and strike some chords, feel inspired, jot down some ideas, and go back into his study. If we want our children to be innovators, we must continue to give them learning opportunities that stimulate creativity. Creativity leads to innovation. Recognize your all region.
Absolutely. All right, just real quick, slide down. I got this written down. Got to write it down. We also have some TMEA all-region contestants that made it this year. Just to go back a couple years, 2017, we had Mr. Wilkins Trujillo that went as a guitarón. Last year, Mr. Daniel Estrada made it to the Dame all-region, and he'll be playing this this Saturday also. This year, he's going back, and we're also adding Miss Rocio Santiago. So now you'll remember I said the Rio Grande Valley, Laredo to Brownsville, is a mariachi powerhouse, and we have 3 students from the Donna District, Gabriel, and these 2 students that will be performing this Saturday at the Westaco Performing Arts Center, and they'll be basically representing us in the Valley's powerhouse mariachi team. So, congratulations, guys.
tall ones on the sides.
Yeah, next to Mr.
They're used to lining up real quick.
Okay, see those Watts? Smile, Watts.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Good to see you. Wonderful. ¿Quieren ir a la casa a cantar?
Congratulations, brother.
You're more than welcome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Great job.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Good. Great job. No, thank you.
You did such a great job.
Thank you.
Great job. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Keep up the hard work.
Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Excellent speech.
The ones that aren't playing are the ones that turn out the best.
Good job.
Congratulations, sweetie. Congratulations.
Okay, and the third group that we're recognizing this evening is perhaps, they have accomplished perhaps one of the most difficult tasks in the music educational world. And to give you more insight, Mr. Adrian Robledo, our fine arts coordinator for the North Side and band director, will come up and share a little more about that. Mr. Robledo?
Good evening, everybody. This year we had two all-state students, Mr. Jesus Ramos and Pablo Ramon. I'm going to give you a little bit of a background on what they went through this year. Both Jesus and Pablo are members of the Donna North High School Honors Band. Okay, they just performed with the TMEA All-State Band. TMEA is the Texas Music Educators Association. On Saturday, February 16th at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center as part of the 2019 Texas Music Educators Association Clinic and Convention. This is a massive convention. Nationwide, Texas is known as the powerhouse of music, and a lot of it is because of football, but that's okay. You know, the bands have become very, very big, and so you have thousands of people from across the nation, even across the globe, that come to this convention. And so both students were chosen for this prestigious honor through a competitive process held this year across the state at district, region, and area levels. Both Jesus and Pablo are students of Mr. Michael Maquetto, and they both play under the direction of myself in the Donna North Honors Band. Both gentlemen made it to the All-State Band for the first time this year. I would like to bring those students up. Mr. Jesus Ramos. And also Mr. Pablo Ramon. And their instructor, fabulous saxophonist. He's a professional. He's incredible. Mr. Michael Maquetto, been with the district since 2009. We are also going to present a couple of mementos for the students. It has the program, it has pictures of them. They also received plaques, t-shirt. It was an incredible honor. And just to give you a little bit of background on the gentlemen too, they both of them are ranked number 7 in the state. Okay, Jesus on tenor saxophone and Pablo on baritone saxophone. So that's the larger saxophone, and his is the not so large saxophone. And so they're both ranked number 7 in the entire state of Texas. Both students are members of the National Honor Society, Student Council, and T-STEM, but they were band students first, right? Just kidding. And also, both students are in the top 10 of their sophomore class right now. Both of them are sophomores, so that's an incredible feat for them.
Pablo is one of the original members of that robotics team that you saw earlier as well.
Veterans. Can you remind us how many actually students were invited to play at the state level the saxophones from the entire state? How many were invited?
For each instrument, there was eight.
So so there were one of eight.
One of eight.
From
Yes.
the entire state of Texas.
Yes, and it was a process that started with over 75,000 students trying for this all-state band. So
That's right.
we're very, very extremely
Very,
proud of it.
very great honor.
Yes, sir. And also, I would like to recognize Pablo's parents, Mr. Pablo and Marisela Ramon. They're in the audience. Thank you very much for your support. And we would especially like to thank our school board, cabinet, members of the community for keeping arts, important in our students' lives. It's important to give them a well-rounded education. And, these students are good, they're examples of that, like great academic students and then also wonderful, wonderful fine art students. So thank you very much. We appreciate it.
We gotta go down, take a picture. Great job.
8 out of 76,000? Sir, I think we're bringing on the competition. Once again, board members, community, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to celebrate our children.
Next we'll be recognizing our Donna High School wrestlers, and we have Coach
Cardenas. Hello, how y'all doing?
Yeah.
Ms. Paulson. Again, thank you, board, for having us here tonight. Dr. Aziz, Dr. Castillo, Coach Leal, and of course the mayor and some other people in the community who have really helped us out. We're very thankful for all the efforts that you all have done to help our kids get to where they've been. Here's Jerry Escalante. I'm going to present Jerry first. Okay. Now, Jerry, I want to talk to him. I'll talk about each athlete as they come through, okay? Because that's very important. Jerry came to us as a freshman, and his first year as a freshman, he wasn't ready to wrestle. He wanted to wait till his sophomore year. He came out his sophomore year, did very well. His junior year, he had some injuries, so he had a orthoscopic surgery. And I really want to thank the athletic trainers, Ray McCumber and Stephanie Van Racken at the high school. They worked with Jerry all year, got him ready to play football. And then right after football season, he came in, and he was a starting linebacker for the Donna Redskins. Came into, right after football season, like that Monday, literally was the captain on the mat. And Jerry was our football captain. He's our wrestling captain. And when Jerry walks around the campus, he's got a group of kids that want to be just like Jerry. And these are things that we're proud of as coaches. We're proud of the community that's raised him. And he went on to wrestle at the district tournament and won the district title there. It's a big accomplishment when you work so hard and you finally make it to the district level, and you are able to win the district title for your school and for your community. And one thing we always preach in the wrestling room, that you're out there representing your school and your community and Donna. And that's one thing that he really takes a lot of pride in, knowing he came from AP Solis, and he's excited about going back and giving back to his kids there. At regionals, Jerry again had to battle hard. He got lucky and won and made it to the semifinals. And then he was having to. It wasn't a lot of luck. Jerry's talented, and he brings a hard punch when he's going to come and take you down. Then he fought his way to state title, and he's our first state qualifier from Donna High School, and that's something we take a lot of pride in. Congratulations, Jerry. He entered the season ranked 16 in the state of Texas in his weight class of 182 pounds. So again, we're proud of that. That's a big accomplishment to go from where he is, and everybody at the school who worked to get Jerry to be here today. Thank you. Next, we have Carla Cruz. Carla was in my classroom her freshman year, and I offered her some great incentives in the classroom. She was a bright girl, and she joined our wrestling program. Well, her and Precious were both freshmen that one year, their freshman year, and they accomplished something that had never really been done. They went out, and as freshmen, and a couple of other girls that we had on the team, they won a district championship. And that was our second year in existence as a wrestling program. So we caught it. Of course, we weren't expecting that. We knew we were working hard, and the kids would fight and do what they had to do. But she went and she fought her way to regionals her freshman year. Precious fought her way to regionals her freshman year, and they won a district title on the last match of the day. And in doing so, they sort of set the standard for a lot of schools here in the Valley now. Other coaches would come and find, how'd y'all do it? You have all these kids, and it's just something now that everybody's out to get us now. So whenever we tell, hey, you're the best, and you have to keep maintaining that. So she, at her district match this year, she ended up second place to somebody from Palmview. And but it's one of those things in wrestling where you wrestle some of the same athletes throughout the whole year at different tournaments, and they had beat each other once or twice here and there. The district title didn't go to Carla this year. She did represent us very well at regionals. She battled to earn a spot to state, and again, we're very happy to have her back next year. She's a junior this year. Good job, Carla. Next, we have Precious Hernandez. Precious and Carla are both juniors. They were both part of that freshman class, and they're both, when you're talking about wrestling in Donna, you're talking to Precious and Carla. Those are the girls who are setting the standard here for the future. Their work ethic, their dedication to practice, to the team, to the community can't be beat. I'll talk about Precious now. She also came in as the first district title that we ever had here at Donna High School. She was a freshman. She won her final match to win the district title against a girl from Roma, and she was district champ. You can't take that away from her. Her sophomore year, she was in a different weight class, and she ended up in second place, but she still made it to regionals. All these kids every time they wrestle, they made it to regionals, and regionals is in Austin, and that's just an event in itself. Okay, and to make it to the state tournament is probably one of the epitome of events that you can go to in the world. It's just so awesome. If you ever get a chance to go see the state tournament, I know Dr. Aziz, you were there, and I'm sorry we were eliminated. We weren't able to participate that day, but it's like once you go, you have to go back. You got to find a way to do something the whole year to get back to that state tournament. So hopefully, we're going to be there again next year and winning those GOAT titles. Now, at this year, Precious pretty much dominated the whole season in her weight. She dropped to her weight class, so she got comfortably in. You don't mind if I talk about your weight class, do you? Okay. When Precious first came to us, she was at a higher weight class, around over 200 pounds, okay? And I was walking through the gym her freshman year, and she was stretching. I said, young lady, you need to show up to wrestling practice. So she showed up, and ever since, she's been working really hard. But once she got working, she started dropping, and then she ended up in the 185 weight class. And she feels, Coach, I feel more, my chances to getting to state are a lot solid if I stay at 185. Because I asked her, she can go 215, and we could probably win a district title for the team. But as coaches, we need to say, okay, do we want a district title or do we want state champs? And that's a balance that sometimes I don't think everybody sees that. Okay, last year we had to, a sister school won the district title, but our goal is to get kids to state. So it's we don't have the luxury of having, 3 or 4 kids in a weight class that we can do those things. Like some of the big schools in El Paso and North Texas and throughout the region. We are fortunate that we have a lot of girls coming out and a lot of boys coming out to wrestling because of these athletes. The precedents that they've set down in the last 3 years has got us there. Going on with Precious, when she got to her district championship in the Valley, she dominated that match. She dominated all year. Get into regionals, she was our first athlete to make it to a finals. So she won her first 2 matches on day 1. She won the beat the semifinal. Ends up being a girl, Haley Montes, out of Victoria. Well, in the finals, Precious is going up against the girl from Corpus Christi Veterans, Natalia Villegas, and she doesn't win. Natalia ends up getting the better half of Precious at the regional meet. So Precious goes into state as a number 2 seed. So she beats the young lady out of Princeton, which is east of Frisco, and has to end up going up against the number 2 seed coming out of El Paso, which is a young lady, I'm not sure of her name, but she ended up getting 2nd place in the tournament, in the state tournament. Going back in her last match on Friday evening to be able to come back and fight for a medal on Saturday, we had some stiff competition from a young lady just northwest of, it's called Northwest ISD, northwest of Fort Worth. And we were winning the match, but wrestling is one of those sports where if you make one little mistake, it gets you, and the referees are a little different, and they call a quick pin, and the season's over on that note. But in going back and reflecting from the state tournament, because I think that's our goal now, is that of the 6 girls in Precious's weight class that were on the podium, we wrestled 4 of those girls. And there's only 6 that get to be on the podium. And this is the whole state of Texas, the largest state, in one of the largest states in the union. And of those girls, we beat 1, and we went to points on with another girl. And the girl from Corpus Christi, of course, got 3rd in the state. The girl from El Paso got 2nd. Haley, who we beat at regionals, got 4th. And then, of course, the girl from Fort Worth ended up in 5th or 6th place. So we're just very proud of the work that the kids have done, and the work and the school and the passing and so forth that they've been doing to keep up their grades and to maintain the honor roll. So just a round of applause on the kids, please. I also want to thank Coach Bowen. Coach Bowen is one of my assistant coaches. He works so hard with getting our team ready and coaching the kids at all levels. We're talking our JV kids, our varsity kids, and just making sure that we're ready to wrestle every day. I do want to call out Coach Valdez. She's one of our softball coaches. So they're in a softball game in Brownsville right now. So she couldn't make it tonight. But again, I'm real proud for the team and all the other kids who are going to be here next year. Hopefully, we'll have a lot more state qualifiers. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Next, we have open forum. We have no one that signed up for open forum. Okay. Next, we have consent agenda. Is there a motion?
I make the motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. David De Los Rios, second by Dr. Mary. You vote
Favor.
Favor.
in favor. Motion passes. Okay, now we have the conservator monthly report for January.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Azayis. I'm reporting on January's.
Yes.
We're a month behind. I just submitted February's, so you won't get that until sometime in April.
Okay.
Pretty much, because it takes a while for it to be reviewed. But I do want to bring you up to date with everything that's going on with the district. We're pretty much on track on a lot of the green that you see on your report. The only things that are slightly off track are your year-end financial training. That's still being worked on by Mrs. Cancino. And the cash flow analysis, while it is slightly off track in January, that did get on track in February because she did provide it to me. And the budget review analysis in preparation, if you'll see there, it's slightly off track because we had agreed that she was going to be presenting quarterly reports, quarterly amendments, or monthly if necessary. And what she did is she actually told me, but Linda, I haven't had a need to do any budget amendments, so technically that is coming off. It will be on track because she did do a budget amendment in February where she addressed the ADA shortfall and the increase in the career technology FTEs. She did do that one budget amendment, so that will be coming off, or it will be on track. Standard accounting procedures, internal controls, and okay, I'm gonna address the first two. Standard accounting procedures and internal controls, she's still addressing those two because she needs to work on the manuals and incorporate the internal controls in her booklets. That is a little bit more time consuming than some of these other things. On the centralized purchasing department, we've compromised on that one. They've actually gone to several of the districts around here and they do not have a centralized purchasing department. And so how she's gonna address it is that on the large ticket items that are purchased for the district or services, those will be done by your central your purchasing department. But on the smaller purchases, those will still be handled at the departments, but she will be doing periodic visits to those departments to make sure that they are done. But everything still goes through purchasing. It's just that they won't have that much involvement in that process. So just be aware of that. And the year-end financial trainings, that is ongoing. She'll continue to do it because her staff does need that training, and that will continue. That's on the financial side. Then what you've got is on the governance. We're on track on quite a few of these items. So I'll address the two-way system of communication. At the time it was not started, it's just gonna get started in March. So I believe I addressed it in the February where we're saying that it is, and it's being scheduled. So that will be on track, okay? And also on the display of the student outcome goals and so forth. That's still not on there, but it will be done in the very near future. You've completed the Lone Star Governance 2-day workshop, the Team of 8 training that was completed, the LSG training implementation. We still have to tweak it some because we're still having a little bit of problems with the inputs and outputs, but you're doing much better as a board. You're doing much better as a board. And let's see. You're slightly off track on your meetings, monthly meetings, and so on. And we're still meeting quite a bit. They're over 2 hours. This is wonderful, though, the recognition of the students and so forth. That is great. But that's one of the things that we're slightly off track. I do want to let you know that Dr. McMahon will be working with you on the board administrative procedures. So hopefully some of the things that we're seeing that we still need to tweak will be ironed out, because we will have written procedures so that you will continue to send staff persons to follow the chain of command whenever they address you, and that when vendors approach you wanting to get the foot in the door, that they go through the purchasing department by either dropping off their calling card or just sending a memo and say, put me on the bid list, and so forth. And then also the thing about, if you have questions, go ahead and address them to the superintendent so that he has a written response so that everybody's on the same page. And if we could get that understood and ironed out, we're good to go. On the other things, the one big thing that we need to address is the district's strategic plan that's getting started. And I was real pleased to hear from Dr. Aziz today that the company's coming on board real soon, and hopefully by June 30th, you will have a plan. And that's pretty aggressive. That's a darn aggressive. The addressing the staffing ratios, that's still slightly off track, but that's only because TASB still has their report to submit to you, which should be happening in March. So that will pretty much address that, and that pretty much covers it, unless you all have any questions.
I just want to add the TASB report will be shared with us on March 28th for anybody who wants to attend. We'll be hopefully having a special board meeting on the 28th, Mr. Romero's. Strategic plan will start also after spring break, and we'll be sharing that information with our community members, with our staff, of course, with our board. And we'll be doing online surveys. It's a whole process. Online surveys, gathering input from everybody, as well as like focus groups and different, all stakeholders will be involved with the work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Romero. Okay, the time is 7:23. We will be going into executive session as authorized by the Texas Government Code sections 551.071, .072, .073, .074, .705, .706, .082, .083, and .084. The time is 8:35. We are now in open session. Take possible action on matters discussed in executive session. Discussion and possible action to approve superintendent's recommendation for professionals, paraprofessional, and auxiliary personnel.
I make the motion to approve.
Motion made by Mr. De Los Rios.
I second.
Second by Mr. excuse me, second by Mr. Pettis.
Favor.
Favor. Favor. In favor. Motion passes. Okay. Number two, B, discussion and possible action of level 3 grievance of Santiago Saustaita. Do I have a motion?
I move to grant and pardon deny the part the level 3 grievance as followed. Offer if there's a job available, but deny all his remedies.
Is there a second? It's a motion made by Mr. De Los Rios.
Yes.
A second. Second made by Dr. Valdez.
Approve.
Did I?
Dr. Mayor?
Opposed?
Opposed? Vote in favor? Motion passes. Okay. C, no discussion and possible action to approve pending or compensated litigation settlement matters and/or matters where the professional duty under state board requires private consultation with the school attorney. No action. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Motion made.
Favor.
Motion made by De Los Rios, second by who's second?
Guerrero.
Mr. Guerrero. And everybody voted in favor. Motion passes. Meeting adjourned.